video walkthrough on a used Cherokee. Start in the back. You're pre-wired for a backup camera. Not just pre-wired, it doesn't actually have one. It does use power from the running lights up there, or marker lights rather. So your running lights on your tow vehicle need to be on for your camera to work. Come over here, bumper caps come off. I'll just undo this. Bumper cap will come off. That's gonna be the perfect spot to store your sewer hose. Usually those don't come with sewer hoses, but since this is used, that previous owners may have left theirs in there. All four corners, you have these stabilizer jacks. You can get a crank for them, or you can use a 3/4 inch socket if you have one of those adapters for your drill and run those with your drill. I like doing that, it's a little bit quicker. When you do that, you do want to lubricate your jacks a little bit more often than you normally would. And I still recommend lubricating them a couple times a year. WD-40 works just fine. All your moving parts, and this is basically just a threaded rod that goes to that. You want to make sure that stays lubricated as well. Slide seals, every once in a while you're going to want to inspect them and make sure they're not dry or cracked or anything like that. If they start getting that way, you can do what's called a slide out maintenance, or have us do it. We do sell the necessary materials to do that. It's a conditioner for these, and then a dry lube for the rails over there. Here's all your water inputs. This is your fresh water. This is where you fill your onboard fresh tank. Open that up. Stick your hose in there, turn it on, and it'll start filling your onboard fresh tank. Monitor its progress on the monitoring panel. Don't wait till you hear water squirt out everywhere. City water. You hook up your hose to here. You'll be able to run all your fixtures off of city water pressure. You won't need to use your pump or anything like that. As far as your fresh tank is concerned, I definitely recommend draining it after every trip. Because if you don't go camping again for another month, and that sits half full of water, it's going to start to get a little bit smelly. And it'll get stagnant. So your drain for it is, see if they didn't put it in a different spot, right there. And then that other tube is an overflow. Short cord, it's 30 amp short cord. You just twist this on and then you can tighten this up for extra secureness. It's 30 amp, most places provide 30 amp. And they're around 25 feet long. Right down here, get you your cap. You got a cap for that. Definitely recommend leaving on. So I always recommend not only visually looking at these, but give them a little push in to make sure that these valves are all the way closed before you take this cap off. And then I always do my black tank first. What your black tank is your toilet water. Do that first, and then when that's all the way empty, then I'll do the gray tank. Because then that'll kind of flush out the black tank water from the hose. That way when you pick it up to move it into your bumper, it's not dripping in black tank water. You do have right here, let's see if I can't get it, an exterior shower. In there, both hot and cold outside, which is nice. Get the key out of there. Sorry about that. I had to pause the video for a second. Alright, cable inlet. So if you're going somewhere that provides cable, you can definitely hook it up through here. You'll be able to watch your TV off of cable. Not a lot of places still provide cable. But occasionally you roll up to somewhere that has some coax wrapped around the power box, and you'll be able to plug it in there and watch some cable. But you do have an antenna on here, so you can watch TV off of your antenna. Lots of good information on these stickers here. You have your VIN. You should also have a gross vehicle weight rating, which is the maximum weight this trailer can be. That gross vehicle weight rating combines your dry weight, your cargo carrying capacity, your weight of water, and all that. Excuse me. The most important number here is 50 psi. We always check the tire pressures on our tires before we ship them out. But before you take this on any trip you take it on, I definitely recommend checking the tire pressures before then, because if you have it sit for weeks, it could drop some tire pressure. So always check that. This looks like to be something from the previous owners. When they clean it, they may or may not take this out. Plenty of storage. This has got a lot of storage up front, which is nice. Come over here. Got you a battery. It's going to be a brand new Group 24 RV Marine Grade battery. In the winter, I recommend taking the battery completely out, throwing it somewhere a lot warmer than... Alright, moving around to the front. Got your brand new Group 24 RV Marine grade battery in it. So don't worry about having to buy this and having to put a new battery in it right away. In the winter, I recommend taking it out, storing it somewhere a lot warmer than sitting in your garage, outside, your garage, basement, a shed if you have one. Anything is a lot better than just being sat outside. The winter is harsh on these batteries. It's going to be a long time between trips. Definitely recommend disconnecting the negative lead off of your battery. It keeps anything from using your battery where you guys have it stored. It does charge when you plug it in though, so if you have the ability to store it while plugged in, that's great, because then you can just have the battery stay charging all winter long and then you really don't have to worry about it. Dual 20-pound cylinders, freshly filled, so again, that's something you don't have to worry about. This right here is an automatic changeover regulator. This is your selector, so you can select what tank it pulls it from first. If you were to have both tanks on, I'm just going to pull from, obviously it's pointing this one, it's going to pull from this one first, but if this one were to get empty, it'll automatically, the little diaphragm in here will open up and it'll automatically switch to pulling from this tank. However, this selector doesn't move when it switches over. So you don't have a real way to tell when it has switched over. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And then we do get a lot of people who think putting it in the middle is going to pull from both tanks equally. And that doesn't work. You got to choose one or the other. It's not hard to, especially since it's automatic changeover, it's going to automatically change over anyways. You got you a nice power tongue jack. This is what you're going to use to kind of get your trailer level. Your stabilizer jacks are just meant for stabilizing, and they're not going to be able to support trying to pick up the weight of the trailer. And then I'm telling you, that beats hand cranking it every single day of the week. So, and then your chains, those are going to get crossed when you hook them up to your truck. Crossing them creates a cradle in case this would have come unhooked from your truck for any reason. It'll catch it. Speaking of getting unhooked from your truck for any reason, you do have a breakaway. There's a little cable that's going to get hooked up to your truck too. That's going to pull a pin in a box that's kind of tucked back there. I don't think we can see it right now. No. When that pin gets pulled out of the box, the brakes on the trailer are activated. That's going to keep everybody safe, keep it from rolling away. And then you have a 7-way. Let's see if we can't find that, where that's tucked up. Oh yeah, right here. That's going to get hooked to the back of your truck as well. That's what's going to allow your trailer brakes, your trailer lights to work. Now your truck is required to have a brake controller for brakes to work, and we can't, if your truck doesn't have a brake controller, usually we can't let you leave with the trailer, because anything over 2,000 pounds you're required by law to have brakes, working brakes, which means your truck needs a brake controller. By the time you guys are watching this video, you already have the trailer, but I always like to give people those advices because that's something you probably didn't know. Bunch of storage here. Here's a crank. That's going to be that crank for the stabilizer. That one right there is going to be a backup crank for your power tongue jack and whatnot. Pre-wired for solar. Again, you don't have it. It's just pre-wired for it. And solar is just going to trickle charge your batteries. If you're going primitive camping somewhere and you're unable to plug it in, your AC won't work, your microwave won't work, your outlets won't work. Just your 12-volt appliances like your lights and whatnot. Outdoor cable, audio slot, video slot. So if you are have a TV outside, you can hook to this mount right here. You might be able to watch TV outside, which is nice. You do have power for it right here. That's a GFCI protected outlet. All your GFCI outlets are on the same circuit, so if one's going to trip, they're all going to trip. And then vent for your fridge. Just keep this area up in here. Keep them clear of large pieces of debris, leaves. Sometimes little insects like to make nests there, or birds. Sometimes they can. I seen one that was so badly cracked and damaged from whatever, a bird's nest was back in there, which is crazy. Small little birds made their way up in there. So just every once in a while, I do also recommend popping this off and cleaning back there. The cleaner you can keep it, it's going to increase the longevity of your refrigerator. Same thing with your furnace. This is nice. They have a screen on it. Now, normally, they don't recommend you run these with the screens on them, but I see it day in and day out. And I'm not saying, oh, the technician said I can run it with the screen. I definitely recommend taking this off when you run the furnace. The more airflow, the better. But as far as like traveling down the road with this, as far as storing this, I mean, no road debris is going to get in here. It's going to be hard for insects to build nests in there. And then, before we go to the water heater, if you're going to run the fan on your range hood, this is the exhaust for your range fan. So you have little tabs right here. See those right there? You're going to rotate these to the side, and that's what's going to allow this to be free moving, so the fan will push it out of the way and give that somewhere to actually vent out to. Water heater is all set up for you to be used. The only thing you have to do is hook up water to it, really. Once the water is full in it, and the easiest way you could check, see if it's full or not, if you crack this open, water will squirt out or a little bit of air, then you know you're at least full enough to turn it on electric or gas. Definitely recommend draining it after every trip, just like your freshwater heater. This is your water heater, because you don't want it sitting full of water, especially since this is a metal tank. So before you take your anode rod out, and in there, and on the end of that rod is going to be a rod with like material on the end of it. And since this is used, it's going to have the same anode rod in it. Those last a lot longer than people think they are. They could be crumbling and falling apart in your hands. But when they say if you have about 25% of that material remaining, that's when you replace it. So they last a lot longer than people actually think they do. Kind of off topic there, but similar. It's on topic, but not what we were talking about at the moment. Before you pull your drain out to drain it, the anode rod, we were talking about that. 1 1/16 is the socket size for that. Before you pull it out, shut off all sources of water. Crack your pressure relief open. You can get this to it. It'll stay outright like that. Not like this, but like that. Water will squirt out there. That's absolutely fine. Once it stops squirting out, you can then snap that back close. Here, I can see if you can get it to do it. Yep, like that. And then you snap it closed when you're done. Once the water stops squirting out, then you can take this out. If you neglect to do this first, all that pressure that you relieve through here is now going to come out of there because you didn't relieve it. And this could come shooting out. You could get water, and if you're not standing to the side of it, it's right at the right level to get wet stomach. And you'd be miserable. You'll do it once, and you'll probably never do it again. This is electric. Now, the only way to get it working on electric out here, well, not working, but the switch for electric is actually outside. There's the switch for it right there. And then the other switch for gas will be on the inside. Alright. Oh, and then as far as cleaning, down in here, and then down in there is where I recommend cleaning the most. That's where your flame, that's your exhaust, that's where your burner is, that's where I recommend cleaning. Alright. Well, now we're ready for the inside. So you have an awning. This is your controls for your awning right here. Your awning does not stop automatically when it goes out. Don't worry, that will be cleaned. We'll actually leave it open so when our fine detail ladies come to clean this, they'll know to clean the awning. Back to being on topic a little bit more. Your awning does not stop automatically when it's completely out. You have to visually let off the switch. See, I'm holding the switch in. That's all the way out. Now there is a flap in there, so what we could do is we can go in. I'm just gonna slowly go in. Let's see if we can get the flap to hang down a little bit. Come on. There we go. When you see it look like that, you're all the way up. And like I said, we're gonna leave this out for now. They are adjustable for pitch. Grab here. Whoop. So if it's raining, you can have water pitch off to the corner rather than all the way along the edge. They are both sides are adjustable, so if you wanted to, sun's rising in your eyes. It's pretty soon. The sun's going to be right over there around 2 or 3 o'clock. So if that were the case where you guys were going, lower both sides as much as I can, and it'll kind of like block the sun. So it's good for adjusting it. It's good for multiple things. If you do have it adjusted, not even adjusted, but even if you have it out during the rain, 10, 15 mile an hour gusts are okay, but if it's consistently like 10 miles an hour, 30 mile an hour gusts, roll your awning back in, please, because the wind will, it's a big sail, the wind will grab it, it could take the whole thing off if it's a real big enough wind. It could bend these arms, tear your fabric. So please, just remember to be vigilant during those rainstorms and whatnot, to roll it back in. Then if you roll it in wet, because it's raining. As soon as it starts to get sunny out, please roll it back out. Let the moisture dry off, or else you'll get like streaks like that in it. Our girls are good at cleaning. This will be, it won't be perfect when they're done, but it'll definitely be 100 times better than it is right now. In a situation like that, it's definitely avoidable when you just take good care of your awning. When you roll it in wet, roll it back out, let it dry off. Do regular maintenance, and once a year I recommend cleaning your awning, applying an awning protectant to it. Increases the longevity of it. Alright, since we're inside and this AC is pretty loud and I'd like you folks to be able to hear me pretty good, I'm going to come through here more on this later and just turn it off for now. Controls for your slide room. You got one slide room. No riders, don't have people riding in and out with it. Watch what's on the other side of your slide out, and watch what's on the floor really too. A child's toy, a small one you don't notice, or a big enough rock gets caught underneath there, it could scratch your floor. Yes, some light switches. One on the left does. Let's see if I can remember which one the one on the left does. There's a porch light, but I don't know if we can see it. Yep, it does that amber light right there. One in the middle, main entry lights. One on the right is, I think this is for the LED lights, but keep in mind this is a used trailer in our sales department, and it's like this anywhere. You can only put a certain amount of money into something before you're going to be over budget, and that might be one of the things that didn't make the cut, unfortunately. But we can always find out for sure. This switch might be for someone else, though we don't know yet. We'll keep going. More light switch here. One on the left. Ah, see? That's the one for the awning lights. One on the right does LED lights above the slide. I like the blue LED lights. They're active. So we still got to figure out what this switch does. I bet it's for this right here. No. Huh. Well, we'll get more on that later. There could be LEDs underneath the trailer we don't know about. But we got to keep going. Monitoring panel right here. You can read your battery. Battery's always going to read full if this trailer's plugged in. How full you're fresh. Black and gray tank car, which is nice. Like I said, black is toilet water. Gray is pretty much everything else. Like I said, also when you're filling your fresh, this is where you're going to watch to see if it's full. As soon as it hits full, go out there and turn your hose off. Controls for your water heater. If you turn it on here, it's going to run the gas portion of it. You can run gas and electric at the same time. Remember, electric is that switch on the outside. If you do run electric, whether with gas or without, make sure there is water in it, or else you get about 5-10 minutes before you have to, before the heating element gets toasted. Running without water is not good for that at all. Water pump. So if you are going to pull water from your fresh tank, you do need to have your water pump on. Plenty of storage through here. Jackknife couch right here. Just lift up underneath, pull it out. Turns into a bed. Very nice. Looks like the previous owners left their TV here. So you guys are getting a good deal. A lot of people take their TVs with them when they trade their units in, so that's really nice. This turns into a bed as well. You lift this table up, pop them legs out, set them aside, and just put them underneath it. This table's going to rest on this little one squares here. Then you take these back cushions, you lay them on there, creates a platform to sleep on. Microwave right there. Works like your standard household microwave. It's only going to work if you're plugged in. Light. And a fan. Remember, if you're going to run that fan, you need to have that flap unlatched on the back, on the outside. Folding glass cooktop. When it's folded back, it kind of acts as a backsplash, which is nice. Burners, turn them to light. Twist your sparker, light it up. Gas is off now, so it's not going to light, but there is gas in it. All 3 burners work the same way. Oven works a little different. You're going to turn that to pilot. Push and hold when it's on pilot. As you're pushing and holding, unfortunately the sparker doesn't work with that. You'll have to go down here with a barbecue lighter or match and manually light that pilot as you're pushing and holding in that pilot on. Once the pilot's lit, you can then turn it to your desired temperature. If you feel like cooking again in a few hours in your oven and you don't want to have to relight the pilot when you turn it off, if you turn it to pilot on, it shuts your burners off, but it leaves that pilot on. However, I definitely don't recommend leaving that pilot lit for an extended period of time. Or before you go to bed, make sure you turn that pilot off. If you're going to leave this trailer for more than a half hour, turn the pilot off. It's just in case, you know. Your fridge is very simple to use. You have one button, off or on. Push and hold, turn it off. Push and hold, turn it on. There you go. Its only mode is auto. Auto's going to default to 110, so if you're plugged in, that's what it's going to use. If you're to lose power anyway, it's going to automatically switch, not power like 12 volt power, because you still need 12 volt whether on gas or electric. But if the campground were to lose power, or someone were to trip over your shore cord and unplug you, it's going to automatically switch to working off of propane for you. Whether it's on gas or propane, this fridge does work differently than most fridges. It works through a different type of process called an absorption process, and what that does is there's an ammonia and a cooling unit back there, and all that does is it gets rid of the heat inside of here, and then within the absence of heat, it's going to be cold. So that process takes about 8 to 10 hours to work. So keep that in mind. Right down here, your breaker box, all your breakers for your 120 volt appliances, all your fuses for your 12 volts. So you have some 15s and 240s. I definitely recommend carrying some spare fuses with you, because you never know. One of them's for a light you can see slide out refrigerator. Having a backup with you will prevent your food from going spoiled. If the fridge fuse blows, you don't have a backup, or being unable to get your slide in. That is a propane alarm, so that's hardwired to the 12 volt system. There's no batteries you have to worry about changing. If that goes off, calmly leave the area, go to your gas, turn the propane off, let it air out, and then you can come in and investigate. Up here is where there's a spot for a TV mount here. Coax, this is where you're going to plug your TV into for a cable. If you're going to use cable, turn it off. If you're going to use your antenna, turn that on. Then you have a 12 volt outlet. They do make 12 volt TVs still, and then a regular outlet. If you have these composite cables, you know, they're yellow, white, and red, that are male on both ends, you can plug it into there and then plug your TV into that, because your radio doubles as a DVD player. You turn that on, so you have different zones. We'll cover the zones first. Let's turn that down so it's not blaringly loud. Who knows how loud that's going to be. Yep. Copyright music. YouTube don't like that. You have different zones. Zone A. So it's labeled here as Zone 2. Zone A. So now just Zone 2 is on. So it's just the outdoor speakers playing. If I turn Zone 2 off, let's turn this down because I know it's going to be loud, and turn that on. Now it's just the inside. You can have them both on, both off, but you can kind of see how that'll be useful. These are presets. Push and hold to save presets. You have pause, play, stop, rewind, fast forward to previous channel, next channel, Bluetooth, and then mode selection. So Bluetooth, you look for Furion on your phone and then pair your phone to it. Sometimes it asks for a pin. It's going to be 1234 1111 or 0000. And then you have auxiliary, so you can hook your phone through auxiliary. Headphone jack. I don't know anyone who's going to be having headphones next to the radio. And then USB. USB does not interface. It'll just charge your phone. Alright. We'll come in through here. Right here. That's your GFCI. That's the main one. That's the one you're going to hit reset on if it were to trip for any of them were to trip. So they're all connected to this one. All the lights in the bathroom, you just turn it on and off at the fixtures. Normally these bathrooms don't come with a lock. Looks like the previous owners installed one, so which is nice. Give you a little more sense of a little bit more privacy. You get your thermostat right here. Pick up some. There we go. It's a little weird that it's in the bathroom, but these are usually set it and forget it sometimes. First thing it's going to ask you is your fan mode, whether you want auto, high, or low. I definitely recommend auto. Auto is going to allow your AC to cycle on and off at your set temperature. So if you have it set to 60, hit 60, it's going to cycle off, and then as it gets warmer, it'll kick back on again. That's going to prevent it from freezing up for overrunning, because if you had it running on high for a long time, it won't ever shut off even if it hits that set temperature. So that could cause it to freeze up, and then you have to wait for it to thaw to use it again. Tap it, cool, it'll ask what temperature. Cool goes all the way down to 55. Hit it again, your furnace, it does go all the way up to 90. I like it 55 in here in the summer. I don't think I'd want it 90 degree in the winter though. That's pretty hot. Toilet, very simple. As long as you're pushing this pedal down, it's going to continue to flush. Shower, always make sure you retain this like this when you travel so this door isn't swinging everywhere. And then you have hot and cold there. Very simple. Do you have a fan here? Crank this up when you want to use it, and then you turn the knob. With these style, the fan usually doesn't turn on until you have the lid all the way open, and then you can turn this on for your fan. Definitely recommend running that when you take a shower in here. Coming in through the bedroom, again, just like the bathroom, all your lights are controlled from here. Do have a TV in there. The coax hook up there. Nice and pretty spacious bedroom you should have. Yep, which is nice. Struts for storage underneath your bed. And a lot of these units don't have struts on the bed, so you have to hold it open as you're trying to dig through stuff. That's a nice feature. The door between here and the bathroom, unclip that and just slide it when you travel. Please do make sure you do retain this so it's not sliding all over the place. Yeah, it's not a whole heck of a lot in the bedroom. It is nice to have access to the bedroom from the outside. So if you have to go to the bathroom, it's also a shorter route to the bathroom. Well, all right, folks, that concludes your video walkthrough of your Cherokee. Hope you folks enjoy using this trailer. I hope you guys get a lot of use out of it. And hope you found this video informative. Goodbye.